ECU?
Do you bleed purple and gold?
Are you ready to hoist the colors?
Hoist the colors!
It's time for the most in-depth look into the world of ECU athletics. Welcome to Hoist the Colors with your host, Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game.
Watch the show live on Facebook
And at 943thegame.com. Here's Stephen Igo.
Welcome into this Hoist the Colors on a Wednesday. Exciting show ahead. It is our annual MLB preview show. We'll get to that starting around 12:15, 12:20 or so. Make our playoff picks, Cy Young, MVP picks as well. So looking forward to that. Patrick Johnson will join us, I believe, for the first time ever on Hoist the Colors. Obviously the host of the Patrick Johnson Show. He's a big MLB guy, so we'll get him to weigh in. We also have James Giglio in studio and Philip Pilkin behind the glass. They will break their picks down as well. We will lead today with ECU baseball discussion. Pirates lose a tough one in Durham, 9-8 to the Duke Blue Devils, a game they seem to have control over, especially once Grady Linehan hit a two-run homer in the seventh inning to make it 8-4, but kind of collapsed after that. And we'll break down the game, and we'll break down the postgame, which has gotten a lot of discussion because one James Giglio, who's in studio, was on the receiving end of Cliff Godwin. I don't even know what
There's some wrath.
Yeah, some wrath.
Post-game wrath.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. Outside of that, I am excited for opening day MLB. Like you mentioned, my New York Yankees are playing tonight versus the Giants, and I'm excited for my favorite baseball team to determine my mood for the next 7 months.
Can't wait to get those James Giglio group texts about how disappointed he is in the New York Yankees over the course of 162. But yes, it is here, Netflix.
That's the best part. Yeah,
yep.
Netflix.
Can't wait for baseball on Netflix. Giants, who my brother's favorite team is, they are playing the Yankees. Tony Vitello, his debut tonight.
Yeah.
So we'll get into that a whole lot more. Philip Pilkin, he was also in Durham last night. It was a cold night, and it was a tough ending for the Pirates.
Yeah, it was. You hate to lose a tough game like that. Duke really has not been the Duke that we've, come accustomed to knowing these past couple of years. So it's a frustrating loss. I think it will eventually become a quad one loss once it's all said and done. But right now, Duke's RPI is 130. They jumped up 12 spots after last night. So that one is tough. But, hey, man, beginning of a tough week. Got to move on. Got to get to San Antonio, fly out tomorrow. So just got to have your eyes out the windshield, I guess.
It's going to be a tough week. We said that going in. Obviously, you don't want to start a tough week with this type of loss. So let's focus on the game first. We'll get to the post game with Cliff Godwin and what happened there, because I know there's been a lot of discussion online about it. I've got some thoughts to share. We'll get James's take too. But the game itself, obviously the most important part, ECU loses 9-8. And honestly, y'all were there, so y'all can comment a little bit more. I did watch most of the game while eating dinner with the family, and the thing I noticed was it was just not a well-played game by either team. Like, I just felt like there were a lot of mistakes on ECU side. You had a ton of left on base as a result of Duke hitting 5 guys and walking 7. And they also made 3 errors. So, this is a game ECU should have won. I thought ECU played better than Duke. They just couldn't capitalize on some opportunities. I don't even blame Charlie Hoagland for the loss. I know he gave the walk-off, but, the final inning, he got squeezed a little bit by the home plate umpire. A couple borderline calls didn't go his way. Leadoff walk, kind of a bloop single, and then you just hang an off-speed pitch to one of their power hitters, and guy knocks it out. I blame, honestly, you were up 8-4. Gavin Marley comes in, you walk 2. You can't walk guys in the 7th inning right after you took a bigger lead. Those 2 runs come around to score. That made it a game again. And then offensively, just leaving too many guys on early, James, wasting too many opportunities.
Yeah, it really started with pretty much in the top of the first inning with Braden Burris hitting that leadoff triple off the left field wall. He's all the way to third. Next batter, there's no outs, nobody on, only him on base. Jack Herring or somebody grounded out, and I don't know why Braden Burris got sent from third. That was the first mistake of the game. It was really from the very beginning of the game. That the runners left on base became an issue for ECU. But like you said, giving up those free passes in the later innings when you're trying to close it out, especially when you put up a crooked number in the 7th inning, it's always going to come back to bite you. So I don't really blame Hoagland in that last inning. It was a tough spot. But, I mean, you just got to rinse it and repeat, or rinse it and fix it for this weekend versus UTSA.
The interesting thing, James, you bring up that first inning. Obviously, there was the base running mistake. They load the bases with one out.
That too.
Fourth inning,
yeah.
you load the bases with one out. This wasn't like we were getting the bases loaded once there was already two outs. There was twice the bases were loaded with one out. That part's frustrating. And, Steven, also, you mentioned all the mistakes Duke made. Also, you said 3 errors, and technically, yes, but 2 base running errors by Duke. So, in a coach's, mind, they committed 5 errors in that game.
And the frustrating thing for ECU is they control the running game. I originally was going to ask James to ask post-game, controlling the running game, how big was that in the win? And obviously that turn. 0 stolen bases allowed for a team that had stolen 103 bases coming in. There was only one other game this season Duke had not stolen a base. And ECU did have, obviously, the caught stealing on the pickoff. But that was it. Like, it's just a shame because you did some things well enough to win. It's just ultimately too many missed opportunities and kind of, they had some crushing losses at Coastal, but this one felt like, I don't know, anytime you're up and you give up the walk-off home run, that's just tough.
This one was definitely, I think, the most crushing loss of the season. And you mentioned the no stolen bases. Walker Barron had a great game. He picked off, like you said, Philip, those 2 base running mistakes by Duke. Those came in the later innings, so those were big plays that the ECU defense came up with. But Walker Barron had a great game, hitting-wise as well. He had that 11-pitch at-bat that ended in a walk. But back to what you were saying, I mean, crushing loss for sure. I mean, I don't know how I don't know how you flush this and move on, but you just have to.
Yeah, and they're going to get challenged. We've kind of talked about what is this team's toughness like mentally. We're going to find out this weekend. I mean, you're facing probably your toughest road series left this season, and if you don't bounce back from this, it could snowball quickly. So the team needs to respond. It's not going to be easy, but we're going to find out what they're made of. All right, let's get into the post game. A lot of comments already from the chat. Lane says Cliff needs an ego check. Hasn't won a regional since 22. Never been to Omaha. How are you going to treat the media and fans like that? Coming off as a sore loser. Somebody said, I thought that was James's voice. Jonathan Wagner says, I'm going to defend James's honor so hard on Bucks on the Pond. And kudos to James.
Thank you, Jonathan.
for taking Cliff's wrath. Chuck says. Somebody points out Patrick Mason got it pretty bad last year in one game. So a lot of comments about was Sean Jenkins available, unavailable, and why wasn't he used? So this is one of my biggest points. All right, let me get into.
Well, we were going to ask that. We never got a chance. So, yeah.
We never got the chance to ask it as the media, so that was like one of my biggest points. I'll give my thoughts on it, and then I'll let you guys go as a media member. All right, so first off, I do want to say, from Cliff's point of view, here's why it's a little bit of an unfair situation, these interviews. First off, Cliff is an extremely emotional guy. We all know that. He wears his emotions on his sleeve. He hates losing. But also, these baseball interviews are done in, like, the immediate aftermath of the game. Like, I mean, we have to rush down to the field. So, any idea how long it was from the walk-off to you guys talking to him last night?
Probably 10 minutes,
No,
Philip, 10, 15 minutes?
Way under.
Under, you think? Yeah.
Yeah. No. We got down there within 2. We walked out on the field. I would say, they were breaking the huddle as we set up our tripods, and he went directly to Coach O. I would say he was to Coach O in under 5 minutes, and then to us, within 2 minutes of getting to Coach O, so probably 7 minutes at most.
Yeah. So it's a little bit of an unfair setup because you don't really have, like in the NCAA tournament, we have a mandated 10 to 15-minute cooling off period before post-game interviews, and it's more of a controlled environment. This is like the true raw emotion you're getting. So I just want to make that clear. It is a little bit of a tough situation, but this is how they choose to do it. This is how ECU baseball has always done post-game interviews. They want to knock it out, get it done. So, like, you also have to be able to handle that aspect of it too. The other thing is I understand the frustration, but, the media, it's not the media's fault. ECU lost. They're just trying to get answers. You were asking about the 13 left on base. You didn't even get a chance to ask it.
It didn't finish the question, yeah.
So it was one of those things like, first off, he didn't get the chance to finish his question, so we don't know what exactly he was going to ask. I think y'all are also planning to ask, was Sean Jenkins available or unavailable?
So, yeah, someone was going to ask it, yeah. If it wasn't me, if somebody else was going to ask it, yeah.
So, like, that's a valid question, that had a direct impact on the game. Obviously, he's your closer. We didn't get an answer on that. I think somebody from another outlet was going to ask about Colby Weber's status. We didn't really get an update on that. So, the media, we travel, we send you guys, or we go to, spend some resources or take our time to go on the road to cover these games. So it's not like we're just doing it for free or for fun. Yeah. So, we're going to have our time to do it. The fans, they deserve answers. They get that from the media asking the coach things. So, I think it is part of the gig to try to answer the questions. I know he's frustrated. I have a great relationship with Cliff. I know he's emotional, but I think it's something that, everybody can maybe learn from after a game like that. So I'll ask you, since you were there.
Like you said, it is a tough spot. 7 minutes is what we're going to, I guess, call it after the game. Then we have to go talk to him. He loses. I guess one of the more brutal ways to lose in sports on a walk-off home run when you're winning in the ninth inning. But to your point, if you're the head coach, you get paid to answer questions after the game. I'm not going to rip into him too hard because, a tough spot, like I said. But also, I saw someone tweet this. I saw a couple people tweet this. What non-power conference team is sending their media, has multiple media guys on the road for, I guess, a non-conference game on the road, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you can't really take that for granted. The coverage that ECU baseball gets, the respect that ECU baseball gets is not like you see from any other mid-major, I guess if you want to call that for ECU baseball.
And it's not like y'all are being super critical. We're just trying to get answers. Imagine this in the SEC or something like that. It would be turned up 10 times. So it's not like we're there to be critical. We're just trying to get fair answers.
And also, if they won, this story never happens. If they won, this never happened. We're asking whatever about, not letting stolen bases or whatever else we were going to ask. So
yeah,
it's not our fault they didn't win the game.
Any thoughts, Philip?
No, I think definitely this is probably something that needs to be addressed by Cliff and ECU Athletics, especially once this new, road games a little different, a little tougher, but with the home games especially, because he's walked off during home interviews before this season, without, Val saying, okay, last question. With that new locker room, we probably need to start treating this like basketball and football. Coach Harrell, Coach Schwartz, Coach McNeil all get plenty of time to kind of decompress before they go out there. So definitely, I got sympathy for him there. With that being said, I think, I understand he gets annoyed by us, the media. It's the worst part of the job, 100%. But at the end of the day, we are the voice for the fans, and sports are entertainment. And if no fans, no donations, no product, right? Movies, TV, music, sports, they're not essentials to life. They are driven solely by the consumer. It's not like we talked about pre-show. It's not the same as, the plumber coming to your house and fixing running water. That's an essential. Sports aren't. So I think that's something that, coaches do need to realize this side of it too. Yes, I understand it is their livelihood, it is their job, but also you have a job and that you can make that your livelihood because of the fans. And when the fans want answers, it's what you get. It's part of the job. It is what it is. You're in the entertainment industry, whether you realize that or not.
And I've said before, Cliff Godwin's the most competitive person I've covered. He said in the past he does not handle losing well. I think it shows in these instances. And again, this is like James said, you can't really draw up a worse scenario to lose. So it is tough. I do hate it from that perspective, but I do think we also deserve the opportunity to ask questions and get fair answers. I tweeted, I assume Sean Jenkins is not available, otherwise he'd be in the game. But I don't know, and I don't like, as a reporter, having to assume things. I'd rather just get the answer.
And like you said, we didn't get the chance to ask.
Yeah, so just from a report from on there, I know you guys obviously know this, James, we've talked about it. James did see Sean up a little bit, stretching and tossing. Now, this could obviously just be him going through his daily stretches. We don't know. But we did see movement in the bullpen from Sean Jenkins. However, for those of you who weren't there, I don't know how good the TV coverage did of it. Alex Boucher and Luke Payne were the two that were actively throwing at the time of the home run. So one of those two presumably would have been your next guy out.
Another comment here, Robert says, why ask a question that was just answered? That would tick me off also. But he kind of mentioned it in his opening statement, left on base. We were going to ask specifically about kind of the
beginning of the game. Because it was literally the first, literally the top of the first inning when Burris went on third.
And that's a fair question too. Was that Burris's decision? Was that a contact play put on? Typically 0 outs, run on third, you wouldn't have the contact play on for a ball to the third baseman. But like we just didn't get any clarification because we didn't get a chance to ask it.
Yeah, I mean, even if it wasn't my question or not, I mean, like we said, the other news outlet, they didn't even get a chance to ask their next question. They got one word out, and Mike was taken off, and interview was over just like that. So, I mean, so you don't even know what they're gonna. He didn't know what I was gonna ask. He didn't know what they were gonna ask. So.
All right, so there's your comments on that. Again, ECU at UTSA this weekend. We will break that down more in the coming days on Thursday's show and Friday's show to preview that. Let's get a break in. We will switch gears. MLB preview next. Pirates have some players in MLB this year. We'll focus more on that on Thursday, but maybe mention them along the way. But we'll be joined by Patrick Johnson, James Giglio. There he is, standing by. PJ, he'll make his I believe his Hoist the Colors live debut, so we'll do that to make some MLB picks on the other side.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Healthwise Pharmacy rounds the bases with all of your infusion, retail, compounding, and medical equipment needs. Locally owned and operated by pharmacist Marcy Parker, Healthwise has grown to be your most trusted provider for infusion services. Currently providing in-home or on-site infusions in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. Visit Healthwise Pharmacy at 615B South Memorial Drive or call 252-295-0059 to speak to a patient service representative to find the option that best suits your needs.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers does real burgers better than anybody. And don't forget about the cheese sticks, fresh salads, and more. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, burgers and sports at its best.
Go Pirates! Arrgh! In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation from a real person? Right. That's what's so nice about Phelps Chevrolet. After more than 50 years serving our community, Phelps remains family-owned and operated. Mike, Daryl, Wave, West, Allen, and Clay deliver hometown service and integrity, same as always. They share your experience, they share your values, and they are ready to help with any motoring need. Come get you one.
Daughtridge Gas and Oil has been your dependable propane supplier for 95 years. Their trained technicians can service and properly install all your propane and natural gas appliances. Plus, Daughtridge Gas and Oil is your backyard expert with fire pits, grills, smokers, and more, including quality outdoor furniture at their Greenville Patio and Hearth Shop at 1901 Charles Boulevard. Go by and see the knowledgeable staff at Daughtridge Gas and Oil for propane delivery or call 756-1345.
You have a choice when you invest in insurance, and when you choose First State Insurance Advisors, you're working with people you can trust. Clark Stallings has deep ties in the community. His team, including Keaton Smith, Regina Asby, Phil Leyva, Max Joyner Jr., Max Joyner III, and Ginger Smith, provides knowledgeable and professional advice. First State Insurance Advisors is an independent insurance agency. They offer all types of personal insurance as well as various types for business. Call or email First State Insurance Advisors today.
Every ECU fan's one stop for all things ECU athletics.
This is Hoist the Colors with Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game.
Here, Hoist the Colors. We're going to do our annual MLB preview. We've got James Giglio, Yankees fan, standing by. I'm a Seattle Mariners fan, and we have Red Sox fan Philip Pilkington behind the glass as well. We also have intern Isaiah hanging out, who's a Nats fan. And we've got Patrick Johnson joining us from the Patrick Johnson Show. Patrick, I hear you're a Chicago Cubs fan. There it is.
Had it ready.
First off, is this your true Hoist the Colors debut?
Yes, years ago when you came over in like a Babe Ruthian sort of deal, like a trade or something, and you said, "Oh, we're going to have you on," and I've never been on. So but you didn't lie because I'm on today.
Hey, it just took some time, just like the Cubs to get their World Series.
You've been on long time. A long time for that. So, and James, how are you?
I'm doing well, sir. How are you?
I don't care. I'm taking my microphone. I'm joking. We're just playing and having a little fun. We're just having a little fun. That's all we're doing.
By the way, Joe Giglio on the Patrick Johnson Show tonight?
Yes, I get a double shot of Giglio today. The younger, better-looking Giglio, and then the old man will join us live at 5 o'clock today. Joe Giglio. You know, there's some stuff going on in Chapel Hill. And is Corey still with 247, or is he with someone else now?
Corey Smith. Yeah, he's with 247, yeah.
So, you know, he posted – I woke up inundated with messages that I guess Corey posted that Will Wade's definitely leaving, according to – and I mean, Corey is like you. So, I mean, if you're saying it or Corey's saying it, you're just not making it up out of thin air. So
it seems to be trending that direction. I don't think there's been an official breaking news yet, but it seems to be trending Will Wade maybe back to LSU. So
that's so wild.
Crazy.
It really is.
College
it
sports,
really
baby.
Is.
MLB, speaking of wild, we have opening day on Netflix tonight. We could spend 40 minutes talking about that. We'll dive right into the American League preview. I guess we'll just go division by division, kind of give some thoughts here, maybe go round table, and then we'll all pick a division winner at the end. I'll let James Giglio lead this one off. The AL East, the Yankees are kind of the projected team to win it. You got Red Sox, Blue Jays making it to the World Series last year, Orioles and Rays. So who do you like in this competitive division, James?
Like you said, competitive division. I think it's probably the best division in baseball as of today. To win the division, I'm going with the Boston Red Sox. I liked how they finished the season. I know they lost in the wild card thanks to my Yankees. Sorry, Philip. But I like the additions they made in the offseason, bringing in their starting rotation has upgraded. I also like bringing in Wilson Contreras to catch, and he's also a 20 home run guy. So I'm picking the Red Sox.
Surprised. You're going with the Sox over your Yankees.
Very surprising.
Yeah.
I was trying to go non-biased.
What do you got, Philip, in the AL East?
I'm also a little non-biased. I think the reacquisition of Garrett Cole coming off his injury and just will portray the Yankees forward. Also, I just think they're more of a polished lineup. I think Boston has a lot of young guys, a lot of young talent. I think maybe the future of the Boston Red Sox right now is slightly brighter than the future of the New York Yankees. But with that being said, right now, as we sit here on opening day of 2026, I think the Yankees are more likely to win now. Baltimore's finally making some acquisitions. They're going to be tough. We know how good the Blue Jays are, and the Rays are the worst team in this division, but I think they'd be about the third best team in any other division because, as James said, this is the best division in baseball.
Patrick, your thoughts on the AL East?
See, I've got a bold prediction when it comes to the playoffs, but I'm going to go with Toronto to win it. I think they're just a little – I feel like the momentum from everything out of last – because they sort of – the whole country got behind Toronto baseball again, and I think that that carries over into parts of this year where they will win games maybe they're not supposed to win. I think there'll be a groundswell. They'll be unbelievable at home. That's the prediction. And I'll go ahead and make my very bold prediction. 4 teams out of that division get into the postseason.
That was my bold prediction as well, Patrick.
All right.
That's my bold prediction.
There you go.
I'm going your Yankees, Pilkington's Red Sox, the Orioles, and then obviously Toronto. They're in.
It is certainly possible. Looking at Fangraphs odds, those 4 teams all have 50% chance or better odds to make the playoffs. So certainly possible. I'm going to go with the Yankees to win the division. I think for me, they just have to survive the early part of the season and be in contention, then get Garrett Cole and Rodon and some of their other guys back, and I think they've got what it takes to win the division. I am a little out on the Blue Jays. I'll get more into that here in a minute, but you can make an argument for any of these 4 teams to win the division, but I'm going with the Yankees, the safe pick. All right, the AL Central, I always call it the most boring division in baseball. The Tigers, Royals, Twins, Guardians, White Sox. Somehow the Guardians are always better than people expect. The Twins look like they're tearing it down. The White Sox are still the terrible White Sox, so it looks like Tigers or Royals. James, how are you feeling about the Central?
Yeah, the Tigers to me are the clear favorite in this division. I'm going to pick them to win this division. I think Tarek Skubal, I know that there's some questions about whether he gets traded. He's got the whole contract, a bunch of contract issues. Besides that, though, I like bringing in Framber Valdez, upgrading their rotation. They're a younger team. They were leading the division most of the year last year before they, choked it away in that last 2 weeks of the season. But they avenged that in the wild card by beating Cleveland and, losing a pretty heartbreaking series to Seattle in the ALDS. So I think they bounce back. I think they win the division. I also think they Tarek Skubal and them renegotiate, and he is there long term.
There you go. What you got, Philip?
I'm going with Detroit as well. You mentioned Skubal. You mentioned bringing in Valdez. Got Jack Flaherty. Verlander's back. Obviously, he's going to be a number 4, number 5. But I think the depth of this rotation is just going to keep them in every single baseball game. I think it's a little deeper than Kansas City's. Kansas City may have, the firepower, fun, young position player, of course, in Bobby Witt Jr. But overall, again, Detroit, just a little bit more of a polished rotation. I think that's what's going to portray them forward to win this division.
PJ?
I will agree it'll be the Tigers, but I believe Kansas City will win. They'll win. They'll be better than 500. They'll finish better than 500. Not enough to get in the wild card, obviously, but Kansas City will be much improved.
I am going to roll with the Royals, fellas. I think the Royals. This is going to go with my later pick, but I'm going to go with the Kansas City Royals. I do think Detroit makes it as a wild card. But give me the KC Royals to make the playoffs as the division winner, and I'll roll with that. All right, the AL West. My Seattle Mariners trying to repeat after winning their first division title in way too long. The Astros appear to be more healthy and more of a threat. You also have the Rangers, who are actually good at pitching now but can't hit. The Angels are a disaster, and the A's have an awesome offense but no pitching. So what do you make of the AL West, Julio?
I like the Mariners to win this division. I think they're clearing away the best team, and they will be the number 1 seed. Actually, early announcement, I think they're going to be the number 1 seed in the American League next year. For the rest of the division, though, like you said, the Angels are going to be a dumpster fire. I feel bad for Mike Trout, but he also kind of did to himself with the long-term deal. Rangers are kind of, they look like they're going to be an average team. The Astros are getting older. I know a lot of their guys are getting healthier, so they could be in contention for a wild card spot. And the Athletics are not going to be the worst team in the MLB this year. They're a young and upcoming team. So I think this division is going to be okay, but I think it's going to be a 1 playoff team.
Philip?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a 1 playoff team as well. I also like the Mariners being the number 1 seed. The reason why, at least we're going to beat up on each other. As the two of you guys have come out and said it's going to be 4 teams in the playoffs. I have 3 coming out of the East, but still, I think all those teams are good enough to kind of whoop up on each other. Yeah, you only play 13 as opposed to 19 against your opponents, but still, that's enough to get Seattle the number 1 seed.
PJ?
Nothing groundbreaking here, Seattle. And I think if somebody out of the East does not make the playoff as a wild card, it would maybe be Houston if they're healthy.
Yeah, I have to go Mariners too, as much as it terrifies me to pick my team with expectations. I'm looking at this. Fangraphs has them partly because the AL East is so good, but as the best odds to win the World Series and make the playoffs in the AL. Because the less competition in the AL West, I think, allows them to have an easier path to get there. But the key,
up I go.
I should be, but I'm terrified because I don't know. I've never had this many expectations with the Mariners. The key is, look, their pitching's elite, but I do worry a lot of these guys to this point have avoided the big injuries. I hope that stays for another year or two, just given the nature of pitching injuries. But lineup should be good. Brendan Donovan, Julio, Kyle Raleigh, and obviously Josh Naylor coming back. So the top of the order, Rosarena, as long as he's not throwing a fit, is pretty good as well. So I'll go with Seattle. All right, wild card teams. James, who you got?
Like Patrick said, like I said before we started the show, I've got the Red Sox winning the AL East, but I've got the Yankees as the first wild card team, the Blue Jays as the second wild card team, and the Baltimore Orioles as the third wild card team.
Philip?
I'm going to go Boston 1, Kansas City 2, and Toronto 3.
PJ?
So I got Toronto. I'm going to go, let me look at what I have here. Hang on.
I guess all AL East, right?
Yeah, Toronto, and then winning it. So I got Yanks, Sox, Orioles.
There you go.
Possibly Houston. Possibly.
A lot of AL East love for sure. And I'm going to go with the Red Sox, a Tigers wild card appearance, and the Baltimore Orioles. I hope.
Blue Jays.
No Blue Jays.
Where are the Blue Jays?
I have the Blue Jays missing the playoffs, World Series, blown Game 7 hangover. I'm going opposite of PJ.
Wow.
I think it lingers.
Okay.
And I think really riding some of those guys deep into the season lingers as well. And tough division.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point, Igo. What will be is there a hangover? Is there a little bit of a reaction to that is adverse? That's a very good point, actually. I'll give you high marks on that here on your show. What
it
a
sounds
tremendous
good.
thought that is.
Sounds good.
I think though
May
they're
not work
going to
out.
be. I don't know. I'm buying the Savage thing. I'm on. I think Savage is primed for a big year. Just me.
I as a former Pirate, I hope so. I hope he wins the Cy Young. And speaking of AL Cy Young picks, I'm not going to go Trey Savage. I mean, the obvious favorite is Tarek Skubal. Is anybody not going Tarek Skubal?
I almost was considering Garrett Crochet just because how he finished last year, and I did pick the Red Sox to win that division.
Yeah.
But I think Skubal, I think him, though, potentially getting traded could throw a wrench in that. So for now, I'll stick with it, but I'm keeping my eye on Crochet.
Contract year for Skubal, I think he's going to be shoving a lot to maximize funding. I don't know. You going anywhere different, PJ or Phillip?
No.
Skubal.
I don't know how you can.
Yep, Skubal all around. By the way,
If
Seattle
he stays,
did.
if he's healthy and all these contract issues, as James said, denied.
Yep. Seattle did beat him twice in a 5-game series, but not really Skubal.
Just throw that out there.
More so the Tigers' lack of offense. All right, AL MVP again, Aaron Judge. Anybody willing to not go Aaron Judge besides myself, which I'll explain.
I'm going to go Guerrero.
Okay.
I'm not going Aaron Judge. I think this is the third best player in baseball. He showed it in the WBC. Bobby Witt Jr. I'm going to AL MVP.
I'm going Bobby Witt as well, and I think that's why the Royals win the AL Central.
Pilk?
Judge. I'm going chalk.
Judge. All right, there you have it. How many times has Judge won MVP now? Do you know?
3. He won it the last 2 years in 2022.
The captain. Intern Isaiah saying, when is he going to get that ring?
The captain. This year. This year's the year.
All right. We'll get our World Series picks at the end, but that may be a little teaser. All right, we'll get a break in. We'll come back. We'll hit the National League on the other side. Can the Cubs make a run this year? We'll get PJ's thoughts on that in the NL Central and a whole lot more after this.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human, about creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
You have a choice when you invest in insurance, and when you choose First State Insurance Advisors, you're working with people you can trust. Clark Stallings has deep ties in the community. His team, including Keaton Smith, Regina Asby, Phil Leva, Max Joyner Jr., Max Joyner III, and Ginger Smith, provides knowledgeable and professional advice. First State Insurance Advisors is an independent insurance agency. They offer all types of personal insurance as well as various types for business. Call or email First State Insurance Advisors today. We want to be your trusted choice agency.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you farm to fork beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes, just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to fork beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown. At National Finance, we're all about hometown support, just like ECU football. National Finance helps us win on and off the field. They've got your back when you need it most. Fast, easy personal loans for life's big plays. And just like us, they're committed to Eastern North Carolina. National Finance, proud supporters of ECU athletics. Visit nfcmoney.com for loans as fast as today.
Make every day electric on the Kawasaki Electro 20 electric balance bike. Maximize the fun with long run times, impressive top speed, and Kawasaki build quality. Easy adjustability and smooth handling make everyday riding more enjoyable. And the standard MTB type tires provide off-pavement capability. The Kawasaki Electro 20 is the electric balance bike that's built to rip. Go to Ron Ayers Motorsports, Memorial Drive north of the airport, Greenville.
Hoist the sail!
Climb aboard as we set sail and hoist the colors.
Ahoy, me hearties! Back to Steve and Igo on 94.3 The Game.
Welcome back in. Segment 3 is our annual MLB preview and picks. We've got James Giglio hanging out, Philip Pilkington, also Patrick Johnson joining us. Hunter Corbett, by the way, says in the chat, Gavin Williams for Cy Young in the AL. So it's dark horse there. He had a really good season last year, a former Pirate. We'll break down the former Pirates on Thursday, their expectations going into a new MLB season. All right, National League picks and preview. We'll start at the NL East, gentlemen. You could make an argument for the Mets, Braves, and Phillies. Obviously, you got Clayton McCullough managing the Marlins, a dark horse, and then the Nationals, no hope. Sorry, intern Isaiah. We'll start with PJ this time. How you feeling about the NL East?
Braves.
The Braves?
I feel like the Braves. Yes, I think they're going to have the Cy Young winner, and I also think the stuff in Philly may be about to get a little unraveled and heated. Perhaps the Palace intrigue is going to be one of those situations where there's going to be a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes because of all that's been said.
Yeah, I was listening to a Phillies preview the other day, and there is some drama between Bryce Harper and
a lot of drama.
And it does feel like that could come crashing down at any moment.
Well, wasn't he hurt last year too badly?
Yeah.
I mean, he was kind of playing through a pretty bad hand or wrist or something last year.
Yeah, he hasn't been healthy in a while, but he did say he did not live up to his expectations. So I went Phillies here. I think you can make an argument for Braves and Mets. The Braves, it's just like they've done it before, but you got so many bounce-back candidates that need to bounce back, and they're always hurt. So I'm going to go with the Phillies because I don't trust the Mets, and I don't trust the Braves' health. James?
I don't trust the Mets, but I'm going to pick the Mets. I think they made too many good off-season pickups, and they lost a lot of the players from their old ways, like Alonso and Brandon Nimmo, and McNeil's gone. So all those players that couldn't get it done before are gone, and you add to what is Juan Soto and Lindor. You bring in Peralta, signed Bo Bichette, Luis Roberts, and you traded for Marcus Semien. So you get Noel McLean for a full season now. I think their rotation is good, which was their big question mark last year. I'm going to go with the Mets.
Philip?
B-Baby Ben Byram, if you're listening, this is your Mets year. They better do it, but they have not given me a reason to trust them. So I'm going to go Phillies. PJ's right. There's some issues going there, but you can't trust the Mets. And you know what happened the last time Walt Weiss was a manager? He had Nolan Arenado, DJ LeMahieu, Trevor Story, Carlos Gonzalez, and Chuck Blackman,
Colorado?
and still couldn't make the damn playoffs.
Because he had no pitching.
They went the next 2 years right after they fired his rear end. And they had the same crappy pitching of Kyle Freeland and Herman Marquez. And, they made it the next 2 years. No, Walt Weiss, terrible manager.
All right, there's your NL East picks. We'll see if we have any wild cards coming out of this division. Should be very competitive, especially at the top. The NL Central, Patrick Johnson, can your Cubs win the division?
Go, Cubs, go! Go, Cubs, go! They will. And I don't think it's because they're great. I just think I'm here for May. I think it's 18th, 19th, and 20th. That's the first Brewers-Cubs, and I'm excited about that. Very, very excited. Pilkington will know how rare this is. I'm kicking around. Should I go to one of the games, Pilk? What do you think of that? All my assignments will be done.
Yeah.
I'll get in line now. I can get a flight through TSA and get in if I go right now.
Got to go now.
Yes, you do.
Right. This very moment, I'll be able to get through by that time.
Patrick Johnson's show live from RDU today. He will bring his laptop and do it from Terminal A.
No, the Cubs are going to be good enough. I think they're probably of that division the most complete team, shall we say? But I do think it's going to be a battle with them and the Brewers. I really like the Pirates for some reason this year. I don't think they're going to win the division, but I don't know. I feel like the Pirates are going to be in this for a little bit. Make it interesting. Give the folks there in Pittsburgh something to be excited about for a minute or two.
They actually have a respectable team outside of Paul Skeens on paper for once. Fangraphs does like them surprisingly ahead of the Brewers in the projections. The Brewers get slept on so much and they always overachieve. I am going Cubs here. Yeah, the Reds, I felt decent about them until the Hunter Green injury. I still think they're maybe a sleeper if they can keep pace till he gets back and gets healthy, but if he does. But I'm going to go Cubs here. I think it's a safe pick, and I think they are the most complete team. James?
Yeah, the Cubs are definitely the most complete team. I feel like I've picked them to win this division the last 3 or 4 years now, so I think this is definitely the year they win it. I know they're in the playoffs last year, but Milwaukee won it. Milwaukee, like you said, though, they were in first place. They won that division last year. They don't have a crazy good team on paper, but they play well together. So I think they're going to be, one of those wild card teams in the NL this year. I'm going with the Cubs. The rest of this division, Patrick mentioned the Pirates. I still have questions about their hitting, but I think this is Chicago's division to lose.
And the Cardinals, by the way,
will be terrible.
Might be one of the worst fall-offs in recent memory. They're going to struggle outside of Alec Burrows.
I said they have one good player.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to the Cubs.
Cubs. All right. It's a unanimous sweep. It's a sweep. That's a terrible
Was that
sign
the first sweep
for PJ.
No, I think we all had the Mariners.
Oh, we all had Mariners. You're right.
Oh God, terrible sign for our favorite teams.
This is not boding well for you and me.
No, absolutely not.
We're gonna have another sweep here in a second. So
yeah, NL West. Dodgers. Does anybody not have the Dodgers? Is anybody willing to make a case for anybody not named the Dodgers here?
I think I'm just kidding.
Oh man,
no.
Yeah. Dodgers projected to win 99 games, 26% chance to win the World Series. Nobody's close to that.
But they're projected to win 99 games.
Yes, which the projections
Which means they'll win 105.
Yeah,
yeah.
The projections are always on.
I think
the
I'm
lower
taking
end.
the over. Hang on, let me pull up FanDuel.
Yeah, take the over on that.
Yeah, I would think that the actual total is probably more than that, but the projection at 99 as it seems to go more on the lower end of things just for safety reasons. All right.
Hammer the over, Pilkington. Hammer the over.
Wild card teams out of the National League. Who do you got, Patrick Johnson?
Okay, so I got let me excuse me. I've got the Braves, Cubs, Dodgers, Mets. I'm going to go Phillies and Diamondbacks.
All right. So only one NL Central team in there. Your Cubs.
Yeah, it's the Cubbies.
Yep.
That's it.
James?
I have the Phillies. I know they're getting older, but I think they got one last run in them. I'm going Phillies. I got Brewers, like we said, play well together. And then my last wildcard team in the NL is my dark horse. Patrick just mentioned them, the Diamondbacks. I like what they did in the offseason.
I am going to go for my NL wildcard teams. The Mets, as much as I hate to write them down, I think they're too talented this year. The Brewers, and I struggle with this last one. I'm going to go with the Padres. I think they're projected to kind of be down this year, but I looked at their roster, still a good lineup, and I think if their pitching stays healthy and if they can get Musgrove back, I think they can make a run. And they seem to always just play better towards the end of the season. Maybe they can sneak in. Philip, who you got?
Same as you. I got Mets, Brewers. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not even that high on the Padres.
Yeah.
I'm just that low on the Braves. And I didn't have anybody else to pick. So I was going to go Padres in this. And Isaiah, were you going Diamondbacks? Is that he's on the Diamondbacks. He thinks that they've done enough in the offseason.
Diamondbacks made a late push last year, in addition to the Mets' collapse, to try to get in. So, we'll see if they can continue that momentum. All right, NL MVP, Ohtani is the favorite. Is anybody not going Ohtani?
I have Shohei Ohtani, yes.
Ohtani.
Skeens, Cy Young as well. Let's get it over with.
Skeens, Cy Young. What about you, PJ?
Strider, Atlanta.
Whoa.
Spencer Strider.
If he's healthy, he's going to strike out, get a lot of strikeouts this year. He's healthy.
I went Skeens last year and hit it. This year I'm mixing it up a little bit. I'm going Chris Sanchez of the Phillies, who was dominant last season.
Wow.
Little worried about a step back, but if he does what I think he can do, and the Phillies win the division, I think he'll have a shot to win
real quick, I want all of you guys' opinion on this, just because you brought him up, and we have a little time here to kill. I thought it was kind of a bargain deal for the Phillies. You know, they're only going to pay him $3.5 million this year. They've locked him down for another 7 years after this, and still only paying him right around $100 million. I mean, is he a Cy Young candidate every year? Maybe not, but still, to be paying your ace $15 million a year, a little less. I think the Phillies did a great job with this deal here.
And it's one of those cases. Maybe it's just, you know, he was close to being out of the league before his breakout year, and almost paying back the Phillies in some way for the reclamation project and saying, hey, you guys help me, I'm going to help you guys, and take a less than market deal for sure. You know, last year finished second in the Cy Young Award voting, 15th in the MVP, 202 innings, 212 strikeouts, 44 walks. So, yeah, I mean, you can knock the Phillies for some of their older contracts that haven't looked out well, and we'll see how it goes. He's only 28, but I think for now a fair deal for sure.
I was going to say, I think that contract definitely helps with all the older guys they're paying the Brinks truck to. Trey Turner, Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber. So when you're paying the ace $15 million, and the $15 million MLB is nothing. So,
did you give your Cy Young pick, Philip? Skeens?
Yeah, Skeens.
We have Scott Lorbatcher in the chat, who is not a fan of our Cubs pick. He's a Reds fan. He says Cubs finished dead last 5 and 157. And that Ellie De La Cruz and Andrew Abbott will win MVP and Cy Young, respectively. We also have a comment saying Ronald Acuna or Juan Soto, and they will rename the MVP the Shohei Ohtani Award eventually as well. So
seems likely.
All right.
Shohei Ohtani MVP, is that what they're going to call it?
Yeah,
NL
why not?
MVP?
Why not? We'll get a break in. We do have a question. I'll ask you guys going into the break. What former ECU player will have the best season in 2026? So I'll get you guys' take on that after the break. We'll also make our World Series picks. We can just go World Series, or we can go full playoff bracket, whatever you guys want to go when we come back.
Gosh.
We will wrap up the show after this.
Get ready to bring on the savings at Greenville Toyota with major deals on brand new Toyotas like a Camry, $229 a month, or RAV4, $279 a month. Now's your turn to save at Greenville Toyota.
Daughtridge Gas and Oil has been your dependable propane supplier for 95 years. Their trained technicians can service and properly install all your propane and natural gas appliances. Plus, Daughtridge Gas and Oil is your backyard expert with fire pits, grills, smokers, and more, including quality outdoor furniture at their Greenville Patio and Hearth Shop at 1901 Charles Boulevard. Go by and see the knowledgeable staff at Daughtridge Gas and Oil for propane delivery or call 756-1345.
Other restaurants claim their food is fresh and fast, but are they friendly? At Moore's, you're treated like family the minute you walk into their doors, with locations in Winterville, New Bern, Swansboro, Morehead City, and Jacksonville. We've been practicing what we preach since 1945. At Moore's, our barbecue is slow cooked and smoked over real wood daily until it's so tender it's falling off the bone. Combined with our fresh chicken, cooked-to-order seafood, and homemade fixins, we're sure you'll agree. If it's not Moore's, it's less.
Your confidence makes everything look good. You see the world in vivid color, not black and white. Swing through your neighborhood Fantastic Sam's Cut in Color and let our experienced stylists take you from everyday to extraordinary.
Fantastic Sam's hair salons are locally owned and operated. Our full-service salons are conveniently located in Goldsboro, Kinston, Greenville, New Bern, Jacksonville, and Calabash. Stop in today at Fantastic Sam's, where the possibilities are endless.
Your future is full of possibilities, and Pitt Community College can help you explore every option. You can earn a degree, learn a trade, transfer to a university, or launch a new career. We offer the support you need to succeed with flexible schedules, affordable tuition, and programs designed for the real world. Your path, your future. Your college, Pitt Community College. Register now.
Bring on the savings with new Toyotas from $159 a month at Greenville Toyota. Get huge discounts like Corolla's $159 a month or Tacoma's $249 a month. Save today at Greenville Toyota.
Like all pirates, Stephen Igo is loyal and bold. He may also have a touch of scurvy. Back to Hoist the Colors on 94.3 The Game.
Welcome back in. Final segment here. Got about 5-6 minutes left in the program. Been a fun show, MLB preview. We've made our each league picks. Now we'll make our World Series pick here in a second. James Giglio, Patrick Johnson, Philip Pilkington hanging out for our picks. A lot of good comments today. We did get asked a question, what former ECU player will have the best season, from Scott Lorbatcher. We will preview every former Pirate tomorrow on the show, kind of discuss expectations. But to give you guys a rundown, we've got Zach Agnos, Sean Armstrong, Alec Burleson, Jeff Hoffman, Connor Norby, Gavin Williams, Trey Savage, and also Carson Wisenhunt expected to start the season AAA, but should be up with the Giants at some point. So, James, I'll start with you. Who has the best season, however you want to quantify that?
I think I'm going to go with the easy answer and say Trey Savage, just based on what he did in the postseason and the World Series, seeing what he did to my New York Yankees in the ALDS. I think he's going to have the best season as any former Pirate this coming year. He has some pretty nasty stuff, and I think he's going to have a great year.
PJ, what are you thinking here?
Savage and Burley as a guy in the field. He'll probably hit 20 home runs again and be really the only thing worth watching in St. Louis, which doesn't really hurt my feelings.
There's no doubt it's going to be a painful watch for Cardinals fans this year, and maybe a joyful watch for Patrick Johnson and Scott Lorbatcher as fans of other teams in the division. Philip, how you feeling?
I'm feeling like Williams going to not enjoy 162 games of baseball this year. Yeah, I'm going to go Gavin Williams. I think he really has become the solidified ace. Our guy Jim Zoki, who's a big Cleveland Indians Guardians fan, and all his fellow Cleveland fans are very high on him. Also, I think this slow ramp up for Trey is going to help him be more dominant late in the season. But also, I think the Toronto Blue Jays are set to protect Trey Savage any way he can. He is making a minor league spring training game is being played today, so it's not the official big league ball club as they are already en route to their first destination, but he will be pitching in that today. I think he's going to make a couple AAA starts early, and then he'll. I just think they might skip a start with him here and there, really try and protect him. They do not want to ruin this young man, and I think just because of that, Gavin's going to kind of be the more consistent one at the top.
Yeah, Gavin really did quietly have a really good season last year. I mean, 3.06 ERA, posted, basically every start, 12-5 record, 31 starts, 167 innings. The only thing that hurts him is the walks. He walked 83 last year. If he can get that number down and go deeper in the games, like somebody posted earlier, Cy Young, I mean, it would not be a shock if he pushed towards, if you look at some of those numbers, if he is going deeper in the games, he could make a push towards that realm, at least get in the conversation. So I'm going to go Gavin Williams as well. I think he builds on last year. I do think Toronto will be careful with Trey, although I think he'll have a good season. I think Burley will be good. He's just not going to have any freaking protection in that lineup. So that's what worries me. All right, World Series picks. James, you want to go full bracket or just make your...
I don't know if I have time to go full bracket. That might be a different day. But I'm going to go Dodgers, obviously, out of the NL. And I'm going to go with your Seattle Mariners out of the American League.
Who wins?
Dodgers. Three-peat. Dodgers three-peat.
Oh, what a disgusting way.
And we have no baseball in 2027.
Yeah. PJ?
Yeah. On what James said, Dodgers, but I have them over the Yankees in 6. And I think the same thing. I think this three-peat will fuel everybody's disdain for where MLB is, and then it'll get furthered by the work stoppage in 27, sadly.
That is going to be a sad day. What do you think, Philip?
Yeah, let's hope they push back the start of college baseball and get us out of the freezing cold this first couple weeks because of it. I'm going to also...
Great idea. Yeah. You're here.
I'm also going to go with an all West Coast World Series and go Dodgers over Steven's Seattle Mariners.
I'm going to go Dodgers Yankees, and I'm going to say that James's Yankees win the World Series
Why would
this time around.
Why would you say that?
Just a rematch of a few years ago. This time, they don't throw up on themselves in the field, they actually make some plays and find a way to get it to Game 7 and win.
That's
7.
yeah. If that happens, I will retire as a sports fan.
How do
retire at a young age?
I don't want to hijack your show, but let me ask you something. How do we feel about Pilk's idea of pushing college back to the beginning of March or maybe even mid-March?
I would love that. A, it'd be warmer. B, it would give college baseball a spotlight when we're unlikely to have spring training or MLB games going on at all next year, depending on how this lockout plays out. So I think it would be foolish to not consider it, but knowing the NCAA, they won't consider it.
That's a good point. Yeah.
I mean, I think
it'd be great. I think they ought to do it anyway. Just wait till March.
I'm with you. Seems too obvious, but we like to make slow decisions at the NCAA level, so it is what it is. All right, PJ, appreciate you hopping on, man.
What a fun time to be. The time flew by, and James, great job. Pilkington, it was good to see Pilkington yawning during someone else's show instead of mine for once. So that was a great.
I just yawn all the time.
Occurrence,
I've never, for someone that sleeps and wakes up the crack of 11, he is one tired boy. I can't figure it out.
Hey man, he needs his beauty sleep. Let it be.
He's catching up for sure.
James, appreciate you, man. Good luck to your Yankees tonight on Netflix. Can't wait. Philip and PJ, appreciate you guys as well. Intern Isaiah hanging out too on the show. We got to get out of here. We'll be back 12 noon tomorrow to look ahead to some ECU players embarking on their MLB season. We'll see you then.